Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Prano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Port Hueneme, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Good morning.
Good Monday morning.
Yeah, man.
The NFL season, the NFL regular season is over. As our boy Sammy, what was his name? You remember our guy from Amarillo? Do you remember the announcer that we hung out with, Sammy whatever?
Sammy
He's
Levitt?
become a huge, Sammy Levitt. He became huge on TikTok.
Huge on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, because every year he now does. And with that, the 2023 season has ended.
Like, he's huge.
He's huge. Every year he has the end of the year sound. I think this is his third year in a row.
He has a great radio voice.
Yeah. And with that, the 2023 NFL regular season has ended.
It was an exciting ending, man. That was a wild game last night.
Wild game. Should we start there? Get right into it?
I mean, it was wild for, I think even
Andy's he's like, you wanted to talk Tua? We could talk Tua. You want us to talk about Tua? We'll talk about fucking Tua.
Well, look, here's the thing. That game didn't change either of our opinions. It's everything we thought for both teams, both quarterbacks. That's what you get.
Yeah.
That's what you get, man.
Yeah.
Like, nothing about that game. You're going to have great Josh Allen plays, and then you're going to have plays where you're going, what are you thinking?
And my favorite part of last night's game is, and I think they said it at some point, you're getting the full Josh Allen experience.
Yes.
But Collinsworth, your boy, trying to do the Collinsworth thing while Josh Allen fucking implodes. Al, I think there's maybe two guys in the whole league who can make that throw. Al's like, a throw to the other, across his body to the other team? Maybe just two guys. Al, maybe two guys. Maybe just him.
Al, wait, you mean Mike? Mike Tirico.
Mike Tirico, whatever the fuck. Whoever the fuck's there. Al Michaels, Mike Tirico, Al Mike Tirico. Al Michaels,
Al
Tirico.
Sharpton, doesn't matter.
Yeah. That was an Andrew Slater burner back in the day. Al Mike Tirico. There's two guys in the whole league off 1 foot falling out of bounds, throws it right to a defender. I mean, are there other guys who can make that throw?
You know what's remarkable about that game? They're only down 7 at half.
Yeah.
You figure they don't get points at the end of the half, which McDermott called him out in the interview. Did you see it?
Yeah.
Strip called Josh Allen out. Like, you can't make that throw. You got to get points there. There's that chuck in the end zone, which, he turned into the meme. Fuck it. Someone's down there.
Yeah.
And just some awful decisions. And they're only down 7, and they're only down 7 because the Dolphins couldn't score.
Yeah.
I know the Dolphins have some injuries. Both teams do. By the way, everybody in the NFL does. If I hear injuries as an excuse from any fan base, you don't understand the National Football League.
It's literally the name of the game.
Right?
Yeah.
And I see a lot of it. I see a lot of those excuses. Oh, the injuries. Dude, everyone's injured. This is week 8.
I have no problem judging talent. Like, if you're going to base your talent thing on like if you're like, hey, our quarterback is behind a depleted O-line this whole year, I don't think we get a good look at whatever. That's one thing. But winning and losing, that's the name of the game in the NFL.
Yeah, that's my point.
Is surviving 18 weeks, being healthy for the playoffs, playing like sitting guys who are maybe hurt so that they're healthy, because like playing that whole, what's more important, being healthy or a certain seed, having a bye or not having a bye? Like that's the name of the fucking game, getting to the playoffs and through the playoffs with everybody healthy.
Yeah. No, I know. But see, that's the thing. Like, take last night. They don't have Jalen Waddle. They don't have Raheem Mostert. It's like they still got, obviously, some really talented skill players. I just think you can't make excuses for any team at this point. And what we got, again, is what we thought we would get. You know, if Josh Allen, dude, if he doesn't turn the ball over come playoffs, they're going to be tough out.
Right.
But you know what you're going to get.
You know, yeah, exactly.
That's what? A big if.
Yeah.
And Tua is what Tua is, man. That pick at the end of the game, that's you guys can talk about, you know, my boy, my Dolphins fan, my boy Damon. You can talk about he threw for the most yards. Dude, when the game's on the line, what is he?
But
and
also,
for the record, I am rooting to win.
You're rooting for the Dolphins to win?
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Dolphins. Chiefs turn into crybabies. I'm rooting for the Dolphins.
Against the Chiefs?
Correct.
But are you rooting for the Dolphins for some sort of advancement? Like you want them to do well in the playoffs for some reason? You just want the Chiefs to lose?
I just want the Chiefs to lose.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm rooting for the Dolphins.
Do you think the Dolphins win that game? Should we jump ahead?
No, I don't.
Chiefs on at home with a good defense. Patrick Mahomes to I mean, it almost worked out as good as you could want it to work out for the Chiefs after all this time. Like unless the Dolphins win this game, like the seeding would match up where the Chiefs, if the Chiefs win this game, they would draw the Bills in round 2. They would avoid the Ravens until a potential AFC Championship game.
Now here's something else, and I was texting with Michael Majid about that last night. Again, sneak peek if these things play out, if the Chiefs win, if the Bills win. Patrick Mahomes' first ever road playoff game would be in Buffalo, and that's some must-see TV, right there.
And it's good. It's that. I mean, again, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it would be a great situation because obviously the Chiefs and the Bills had a playoff game, and then there was a whole overtime thing, you know, changing the rules and whatever, and the Chiefs get these home calls all the time, so it's like, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, we are getting ahead of ourselves. I think that the Dolphins have a chance to win that game. I won't be picking the Dolphins, and unlike you, I won't be rooting for the Dolphins, like, because sure, like, I mean, the Chiefs crybabiness, the Taylor Swift factor, all that stuff, like, I'm not suddenly the world's biggest Chiefs fan anymore, but at the same time, it's like, you know me, man. It's like my rooting interest comes from these fans that just like, we host a podcast and people will be like, la, 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 la. It's like, well, I'm on the Chiefs now.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm picking the Chiefs too.
Yeah,
like I think the line's about 3.5. It opened up at. I just like that game is a prime example
because that punt return that ties that game, it's so huge. You've given up one touchdown. You should be running away with this game, and then they tie that up, and then also just in the second half, like, you want to talk about Tua, forget how the way the game ended, how the second half play out. Not moving the ball, not running the ball,
that's on the coach. That's on McDaniel. I don't know why they ran the ball great in the first half. Here's what's crazy. For as much as we talk about the running backs and how you can basically mix and match running backs and they're not as important come playoff time. I saw an article. It was looking at the numbers. The teams that are in the playoffs, almost all of them are like top 7 in rushing yards a game and top 7 defensively on limiting the rushing yards a game. You know what I'm saying? So the argument is, as much as we are in such a pass-heavy league, you still have to run the ball and you still have to stop the run. And nobody really talks about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, no one talks about it because it's, it for so long was like a simple thing, establish the run. And what people don't talk about is the many factors that come with establishing the run, which is shortened second and third down situations, keeping the defense on the field, wearing out the defense, limiting the defense's chances to pin their ears back and blitz. All these things come with setting up play action, setting up run pass options, all these things come with the run. And it's almost less about really establishing the run or getting any sort of huge running statistics. It's just all of these little things that are greatly affected by having a somewhat consistent, even like mediocrely effective running game,
Yeah.
Like the new thing in the NFL from a play calling standpoint in the last couple seasons is pass on first down, run on second down to get yourself into a situation where the third down's reasonable. And that doesn't work if you throw an incomplete pass on first down and run for 1.5 yards.
Yeah, I know. It's that game is a prime example of, dude, if you're running the ball well, why stop? And conversely, the Bills start running the ball good, and it's like they're just going to keep doing it in that game. And let's go to a different game real quick. Talk about running the ball. And then you have the Texans-Colts game, and Jonathan Taylor's having a hell of a game. We go back to Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line, and it's 4th and half a yard. Put the ball in his – dude, if he doesn't get it, he doesn't get it. And you decide to do a pass.
Yeah. And
my problem with these coaches, Joe, is they overthink it.
Now that play call was great. The play call was great in that the guy was wide open.
Wide open, sure.
But again, I talk about this when I would teach hitting to kids. I go, if you hit the ball hard, let me just sidebar away from the conversation for a second. These youth coaches who are teaching fucking launch angle and shit, just literally kill yourselves. When guys get to the minor leagues, you start talking about launch angles. So when guys are playing big time college baseball, maybe. But as a youth coach, I would always tell the kids, we're a high school baseball team in a mediocre division. If you hit a hard ground ball to somebody, they've got to field it. They've got to control it, get it to their throwing hand. They've got to make a good throw. The first baseman's got to catch it, and they got to do it all before you get down the line. If you hit the ball in the air, you just got to fucking catch it. All you got to do is catch it. Don't hit the ball in the air. And that's the thing, is when you have that 4th and 1, to as great as a call is as wide as open, you still have to make a throw. He still has to make a catch. He still has to turn upfield because he was wide open, but he was still short of the sticks. And then you probably got to run a 1/2 yard, not fall down, not go out of bounds, whatever. Whereas you run, it's just get the exchange and get a yard.
And that's my thing. If he doesn't get it, he's been running great all game. Then you just kind of say, hey, we went to our go-to guy. It didn't work. And I don't think there's any shame in that. but these matchups are all very interesting, in my opinion. I think we've never had so much anything is possible in recent memory.
I agree with you. I was actually thinking about this morning. This is probably the first round of the last few years where you feel like almost every game can go any way. I like a bunch of the road teams. I like, what, but then at the same time, it feels like the two teams with buys are head and shoulders above the rest of it. Like anything can happen, but what's most likely to happen, anything can happen in the first round, and then the 2-1 seeds are probably playing in the Super Bowl.
Well, it's like last year. I'm looking briefly. Last year you had 7 teams had won 12 or more games.
Yeah.
This year you have 4. So it's like it was. I don't know. It seemed. I know what you're saying, but see the time off can help or hurt teams. The time off is weird, right? Sometimes momentum is real. Ravens had some serious momentum. Now, obviously, they sat their starters.
But if you look at the teams that aren't sitting, that don't have a bye, what team is rocking and rolling and has this crazy momentum even that's left? I mean, the Browns lose.
They played like all their backups, man.
Right, but I'm saying that's the same thing. Isn't that the same thing as time off?
It is.
Isn't that the same thing as time off? So Browns lose and they have time off. Like the Rams win a game and are in, and Stafford didn't play in that game. The Dolphins are coming off a loss. The Eagles are coming off getting embarrassed. The Bucks looked terrible in surviving. Pittsburgh, like everybody's like, I would say sports fans that aren't Steelers fans are like, we have to watch Pittsburgh in a playoff game? Like, what team has momentum right now? Would you argue?
I think the Bills do.
Like shit. The Bills do. Okay.
I mean, their last couple games have not been the cleanest.
Yeah.
They won though.
If you were looking at the historic, this team's getting hot, it doesn't feel like any of these teams are hot.
I think the Bills are still hot. I mean, like when I placed that bet, they weren't even in the playoffs technically for them to win the AFC and for them to win a Super Bowl.
But that's the closest that we have to a hot team with momentum, right?
Or I'd say the Ravens, even though they lost.
Right,
again,
but I'm saying you're talking about the conversation started with time off, so like taking the Ravens and the Niners out of that conversation.
Yeah,
because they're taking a break.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said. I think it really is. It's going to be interesting and exciting. And they're calling it. Why? When did they start calling it Super Wild Card Weekend?
When they added, so there's an extra game on every side now. So it used to be 2 buys, right? And then 2 games on each side between 4 teams. Now they've made it 1. So now that there's a third team, it's Super Wild Card Weekend.
So I don't know if you saw that thing. They released the 100 top most viewed shows last year in 2023. 93 of them were NFL. That's insane to me. 93 of the most viewed television shows of the top 100 last year were NFL. 3 were college football. So now it's 96 of the 100 most viewed were football. And I was actually looking at the list, and it's not surprising. And I know CTE is real, and I know injuries are real, and I know there's a lot of other factors, but it's just not going anywhere, man.
Yeah. I mean, the end racism in the end zones didn't, that it probably would have been 100 for 100, but they put end racism in the end zone.
Forgot about that. Well,
the guy's kneeling, or else the Oscars wouldn't have even made the list.
the Oscars were like 60th. It's pretty crazy. And if you pull, like I pulled up that article, what's crazy is it's only actually increased.
Yeah.
So if you look at 2020, 72 of the top 100 were NFL. 2021, 75. 2022, 82. 2023, 93. Now, I think that'll probably change this year. It'll dip because it's an election year, and there'll be obviously a lot of viewed stuff on TV, like debates and shit like that. But it's pretty insane, man. And again, I'm reading that book called The League to see like how far it's come. I do want to take a dig at some fan bases again, real quick, and in particular, I have to take a dig at the Bengals fans because I like to do that. And it's easy, right. And not all the Bengals fans, but dude, the Bengals fans they quickly turned into the Lions fans. The amount of tweets I saw from like stat dorks and Bengals beat writers and who were like, dude, they went 9-8 in the toughest division in the league and didn't have Burrow. You guys just made the fucking Super Bowl and then followed it up with an AFC Championship game. They're taking
it's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, they're taking salvage in the tough, like all these stupid dork Cincinnati like accounts are like toughest division in the league. And this was the first time since 1935 where all four teams had a winning record in the division. And everybody's like, that's how tough our division is. Cool story. You went 1-5 in the division. You beat the Browns, who were playing all their backups. So that's kind of
and that's kind of thing. So it's like, what are we talking about? In the toughest division, dude? You could have been a way better team, but you were in tough division. You went 1-5. Like you could have been a playoff team in the AFC South, but you were in the tough division. So that's why you're not, because you lost all those games.
Well, that's their argument. Like that's actually a meme. Would win the division if we were in. It's like, but you're not.
Would win the division if we didn't have to play tough teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool story, bro. So honestly, just take Bengals fans. Let me give you a piece of advice. Focus all of your attention from now until kickoff next year, not preseason. Forget the preseason, because if we learned anything, Joe Burrow should watch practices and preseason games from a fucking golf cart. All you should be talking about is Jake Browning's wife from now until week 1 next year. That's it. Just focus on what you've got.
She knew exactly what she was doing.
Well, I'm certain that she didn't go dressed up as Catwoman with an orange Jamiroquai hat, not knowing what she was doing.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't think that was laid out on her bed for her.
Yeah, Burrow's been giving the Browning family the suite since he got hurt that he normally had for his family, right? So she knew exactly what she was doing. But did you see his comments? Dude, this is so funny. Did you see what Browning said about that he's proven he's a starter? Dude, no, you haven't. Like you're delusional too. Dude, you're not a starter. I'm sorry, you're not a starter. You're not starting in the NFL.
Listen, 68 quarterbacks started in the NFL this year, and there's a lot of teams that don't have a starter. Like I think Browning could have proved that he could start somewhere.
Well, that's kind of a vague, there's a spectrum of that.
Yeah, there's Baker Mayfield played himself into a starting job and into the playoffs based on like 2 games with the Rams last year. By the way, it should be called the Sean McVay Comeback Player of the Year award. Like whichever quarterback he lets play week 18 gets to have a job next year, and then they get to win Comeback Player of the Year. Like, congratulations to Carson Wentz, 2024 Comeback Player of the Year award winner.
What about that game, man? You got Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit. The Goff Stafford trade.
Like, listen, if you're the Lions,
that's a great storyline. It's a
fucking great storyline. But talk about, you talk about win-win, lose-lose, that kind of thing. Like, this is like the I understand that the Lions have not won a playoff game in however long, since the 90s, 30-something years.
I believe 91 or 92.
So think about how there's almost no situation where a loss would be as bad as a win would be great, except this. If Matthew Stafford travels west to east with his new fucking team that you traded him to, where he won the Super Bowl, and he beats you after not winning a playoff game while with you, it is a worse loss than your win would be a win. I believe that. And that's saying something, because a Lions winning a single playoff game is massive. It is such a monkey off your back. It is such a sign that you're turning around. If you lose that game to Stafford, it's the Titanic sinking.
You think?
It is. It's because you're like, look at what we've built. Look at how great it is. Look at how glorious. Look at how magical. Look at what we've done. Look at all the work and effort, the effort of 1,000 men that went into this. Look at, and then you just hit the Stafford iceberg and you sink and die. Dude, it would be the Titanic sinking.
Well, look, and I know people are not going to be surprised by this. My early prediction is the Rams win. Right? We look at, what do we always talk about? Come playoff time. Quarterback, coach, defense. What do the Lions have better? What do they have better? Now, I don't know statistically how the defenses match up. I know the Lions D has looked good at times. Like, I thought it looked good against the Cowboys.
But we know this is not a conversation. We know that the Rams have the better coach and the better quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's just say the Lions have a better defense. Let's just say it. The Lions have a better defense and a home game. It'll be crazy in that building, I'm sure.
Oh, they're going to be going nuts.
But it is the Titanic sinking if the Lions lose that game. I'm not joking. I think that is the comparison, because the Titanic making its trip is what it is expected to do. Now, they would have been like, this glorious modern marvel made it, and look at this, and this, what a fucking success, and this is the amazing. It would have been treated like that. It would have been treated as this amazing thing, but it is what was expected. But to build all this, and then to Stafford would be fucking bananas.
What?
I'm rooting so hard for it.
Well, so am I. I mean, obviously, it's a knife to the heart if they lose, especially to Stafford. We always joke about
the potential long-term effects of this.
Yeah, I mean, this couldn't be scripted any better. I know we joke, and the NFL leans into the joke about the season being scripted. This couldn't be a better script. And look, the Rams have just kind of slowly built a nice little 10-win team. You got a no-name drafted rookie wide receiver who breaks the records yesterday, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of great storylines. And the idiot storyline of the week, once again, is Jameis 101 and Jameis Winston and the whole thing.
Well, there's Jameis 101 isn't in the story because Jameis 101 has disappeared. Now, did you happen to watch SportsCenter after the game last night? Did you watch late night SportsCenter? No, you probably go to bed after the football games.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Scott Van Pelt. I don't watch SportsCenter typically, but there wasn't. I was trying to find Lakers clips after the game, and then blah blah blah. I used my brother's fucking DirecTV, so I actually get New York local games. It was really hard to find. I was like, fuck. So then I was like, I guess SportsCenter. Jameis. They played Jameis's quote, and then Scott Van Pelt said, "Jameis is one of one." And I was like, is Scott Van Pelt? Like, is Scott Van Pelt referencing that fucking sociopath who has disappeared to the moon?
That's hilarious. He's such an idiot. These clips are just they're back to my point.
Before we talk about the clip, can we talk about the situation? Let me just say this. If it had been, I know they're in victory and whatever. If this had been for some incentive thing, if this had been $2 million, if he gets 10 touchdowns for the year instead of 9,
I get it.
100%. That's taking care of your teammate.
100%.
But you're in victory formation and you fucking hand it off to a guy for his first touchdown. This sad fucking. This is like Goldberg used to say. This is like the Make-A-Wish kid.
It's the Make-A-Wish kid. It's the kid with cancer. And again, I always call Jameis Black Bobby Boucher. This interview is basically what I would point to if you look up Black Bobby Boucher. Just an ignorant bubble. Yeah, good. I'm good. G golly good. What? He's fucking so stupid. He's so dumb.
And then Arthur Smith's reaction to it probably got him fired, which is amazing.
I don't think that's what got him fired. I think his debacle of his season got him fired. And also it proves the team gives zero fucks about Dennis Allen and has no respect for him. No respect. If the team, as Jameis keeps saying, decided to do this, then they have zero respect for their head coach. So I got a couple clips, and I don't know if we have to do this one. I mean, it's long, but we'll see how far we get.
And I understood from DA's perspective, so I give him that. Yeah, but DA didn't condone that at all. Yeah. You know, he didn't. However, we decided as a team to do it, and man, we got an interception to the 1 yard line. Yeah. You know, like, so if
what's up with the exaggerated smiles? The exaggerated smiles he does. Yeah, I'll be honest. Everybody jocks him. I couldn't disagree more. He has what I would deem.
I've been saying this from fucking. I've been saying this since the Bucks Hard Knocks, dude. Like,
no, I know you have, but it's even worse. The constant smiling, dude. I want to punch your face.
I've been saying this in the whole fucking time, dude. He's mentally ill.
100%.
He thinks people fucking believe this shit. His teammates don't believe it. The press doesn't believe it. No one believes it. He's fucking mentally ill. I've been saying this since the Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
It still would have been disrespectful. Right. You know, so
Tyron wasn't in on it, was he?
No, Tyron was not in it.
No, just kidding.
Like it was an offensive team discussion. However, when you return the ball to the 1 yard line and you have that opportunity, we just had that opportunity and we decided.
Do you think it's the kind of thing though that is forgotten fairly quickly, or you know what I mean?
I think it should be forgotten, especially when the score is already 41-17. So I don't know how much worse it can get. But I got a ton of respect for Arthur Smith and the coach that he is. I think they do some incredible things. I didn't want to disrespect him. That was not my intention. My intention was to lead the team that I've been with the entire year, and we made a collective decision that we wanted to get one of our guys who they fight with blood, sweat, and tears every game in the end zone, and I'm gonna feel good about that. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to play a second clip.
I have something before this. Like, two things about this. Then why didn't you just line up in a fucking running formation?
And just I agree. I thought that too.
You like, does Jameis not know a fucking off tackle play call off of the top of his head? Why didn't you just line up and run the ball? So
that's less.
You respected their team, but you also sneak attack them.
Exactly. That's less disrespectful. If you just, hey, we're at the 1 yard line. Let's play some big boy football.
Yeah,
we're gonna pound it in. Try to stop us. And then this clip. So this next clip, you know what this next clip reminds me of? It reminds me of in 40-Year-Old Virgin when Stephen Carell goes speed dating and he just keeps asking questions back to the girl.
Yeah.
And then she looks at him and goes, "Are you fucking retarded or something?"
Yeah.
That's literally what I think of Jameis Winston right here. It's that scene from 40-Year-Old Virgin. He keeps asking the question back to the reporter. And I'm like, dude, you look special needs. At this point, Jameis Winston has special needs. He definitely has autism or something. He's such an idiot.
It's kind of offensive to people who are autistic. I think Jameis Winston is really dumb.
Yeah. Wait, what's that?
I think it's pretty offensive to people who are autistic. I think Jameis Winston is just really dumb.
Okay.
And I think
point.
there's a difference.
There's a difference. You're right.
Somebody's got to play these guys twice a year. That's all.
How do you feel about it? Tell me how you feel about it.
Not good.
Why don't you feel good about it?
Because you got to play these guys twice a year.
But what about it makes you not feel good about it?
I just don't. The head coach tells you to kneel it out. You're asking my opinion?
Yes.
I think you should have kneeled it out.
Okay. Well,
I'm just telling you as respectfully as I can. You answer my question as respectfully as you could, and I'm telling you as respectfully as I can that I respectfully disagree with you. That's all.
You disagree with me or the entire team?
Whoever made that decision.
Okay. So you disagree with the entire team. So thank you.
No, I'm just being honest and respectful.
And that's what I'm attempting to do too. Yes. And that's what I am doing.
Oh my God.
I got to say, I didn't see this one before you just showed it to me
Yeah.
right now. I don't know who that reporter is, but he's also this was this was the pointing Spider-Man meme if they somehow had their masks on backwards. Like what the fuck are you trying? Like this whole conversation is this is the conversation that you hear in LA where like you see a couple out on a first date that they met on fucking Bumble and you happen to be seated next to them and you just want to stand up and go, guys, like I'll pay your bill. Can you guys just go your separate ways right now? Like you're putting the public through this. You guys are not going to make it. And everybody here is embarrassed for you. Please leave.
Which, by the way, been there many times. Love watching that train wreck.
Yeah.
Jameis keeps saying the whole team. Well, you've said earlier that it was just the offense. It's not the whole team. But again, Jameis, I don't get the Jameis love from people on social media. Oh, look at him. He's stupid. He's a multi-accused rapist / sexual assaulter. What is the love? And he's not a good quarterback.
And he's not a good guy.
That's what I'm saying. What is
this
the love?
And this whole he's a good teammate thing. And this and here's the good thing is I don't think we have to worry about this anymore. There was this whole conversation this whole year. By the way, Derek Carr played fantastic from week 14 on, including in this game.
Prano loves Derek Carr, guys.
No, I don't love Derek Carr.
You're number one of the Derek Carr fan club. I'm
not even a Derek Carr fan. Again, just
get out of here.
Again, just a Derek Carr truther. I
don't hate Derek Carr, but you're a big fan of Derek Carr.
Here's the thing. It's kind of the exact same point you're making. It's like this whole year, you had people calling for Jameis Winston in New Orleans. To me, as a quarterback guy, as a guy who fancies himself somebody who can judge quarterback play fairly well, I am offended on behalf of Derek Carr.
And that's fair.
And that's what makes me a Derek Carr fan. And also, it's so easy to get one guy who the fan base decides. Everybody loves to do that. Like the Steelers did that this year. It's Matt Canada. The problem with the Steelers is Matt Canada. This is the problem with the Steelers is Matt Canada. Saints fans were convinced it was Derek Carr. It's Derek Carr. We got to get rid of Carr. Carr ain't him. It's Carr. Like, people love to do this. And it's like, first of all, in bad organizations, there's a lot of problems. Now, I'm not saying the Saints or the Steelers are a bad organization. They both had fairly decent years. That's why the other thing is it's not a one guy issue. So But Jameis Winston has proved time and time again, he's not it. So it's offensive if you're just like a football fan with a little bit of knowledge to see a guy playing like average quarterback and wanting him to be replaced by Jameis Winston. But the good thing is, I don't think we even have to deal with this anymore because Dennis Allen isn't getting fired, I don't think. And
which I think is a mistake. Like
you think they should fire Dennis Allen?
Well, I just do Dennis Allen, dude, he's a 6. Like, cool. Like,
okay. But I don't think he's getting fired.
He's not, but I think that's part of the problem is I just
fine.
don't know. Let me put it this way real quick. This is a winnable division, as we know. The team who won it was 9-8. I just think they have some pieces, and you should be winning this division. Like,
sure.
You're losing to Baker Mayfield.
By the way, I'm not defending Dennis Allen. I don't think Dennis Allen's a good coach. I don't. But I don't think he's getting fired. But I think what Jameis just did means that Jameis Winston is not going to be a part of the Saints. And also, who's signing Jameis Winston who doesn't listen to his coach?
Well, I was thinking the same thing. Dude, you deliberately
you're out there. You're gonna sign Jameis Winston?
That's what I was thinking. He's so stupid. If I'm a coach, wait. The simple task of taking a victory formation knee, this fucking moron, and I mean moron. There's been some dumb people in the NFL. It's not exactly the profession that brings in rocket scientists, as we all know. He's top 10 dumbest player I've ever seen. He's so dumb. He's so dumb. This is the guy who was benched at Florida State, or at least wasn't supposed to start the game. I don't know if you remember this. And he came out in his full uniform. And Jimbo Fisher, the guy named Jimbo, who again isn't exactly the smartest guy, is like, what the hell is he doing? Jimbo Fisher looked at him like, what is this moron doing? I don't know who signs him. That's a great point. And I thought about that. Why would anybody ever want to sign this guy?
You can't even do the simplest task.
Because he can dance in the locker room? He reminds me of a guy in my fraternity that used to just annoy the hell out of me. He wasn't as dumb as Jameis. But like, here's a quick story of this guy, and you'll say that's so Jameis. This guy's from Boston, by the way, of course. He's the type of guy who I remember he had been drinking all night with one of my roommates when I was living in a house. And they got like late night Del Taco, and they're just farting up a storm. And this is that guy. This is something Jameis would do. And I remember waking up and walking downstairs, and he's like hungover watching TV, and he's in a blanket, and he farts, and then he sticks his head under the blanket to smell his own, like to waft it in, and then pops his head out. He's like, "Yeah, it's pretty nasty." And I'm like, "Why would you do that?"
Yeah,
that's
my teammates love it. My teammates love it. I do it every time. I asked coach for a different player to room with on the road for 18 weeks because when I smell my own farts in our room, they love it and it gets them excited for the next game. And it was a team decision. Coach said, I don't think it's healthy for players to smell their own farts, but I took a poll, and 4 offensive linemen, 1 tight end, and the guy whose fart it was that I also smelled, he said that he wanted me to do it, so I did it. It's for my team. I'm a team first guy. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to backpedal on only my heels while people smack me with small child's toys. Because I'm ready for the playoffs. Jameis, respectfully, you guys didn't make the playoffs. That's your opinion. It's your opinion that we did not make the playoffs. I'm ready for the postseason.
And nothing. Complete silence still from Jameis 1 of 1. He's gone dark. Or the wife said, put the damn phone down. Put it down. I mean, here we are. NFL playoffs, so much news, and this fucking moron we're talking about. It's unbelievable. Do you think anybody signs him next year?
No,
Because
I mean maybe, but no one's signing him for any other reason than to be a backup.
Well, you and I remember when I posed the question. It's
Who's out of
interesting.
the league first?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield or Jameis Winston.
I think we both said Baker, right?
We both said Baker. We might take an L on that one. Because
Sure.
obviously Baker, they win the division. He has a pretty nice year, a solid year. He got some bonuses yesterday.
Who do you like in that game?
Yeah, guys.
The Eagles.
What the hell happened to them? You know what happened to them? That caller. Bro, we talk about the Ruther curse. They've gone 1-5 since the dirtball left the call about us not giving them enough respect. They've gone 1-5.
Listen, you know me. I love.
It's like they forgot how to play football, Joe.
A lot of people say, I hate to say I told you so. Not me. I love to say I told you so. I love to say I told you so.
We know.
Yeah.
But
the Eagles, as I have said for 2 full seasons now, their offense, as compared to the other great offenses in the league today, as compared to just every other playoff team, is not creative. Their offense is not creative. Now you add on the one play that Jalen Hurts can execute consistently, probably has some part in him being clearly banged up going into the playoffs.
You're going back to the tush push, aren't you?
Yeah. 3, the one play he can consistently execute is probably about to be banned by the league. And now their defense sucks. You made a Super Bowl. You lost the Super Bowl. You had a nice little run. That window was fucking open. That window was open and closed. That was like the patio door in Ace Ventura. Oh! That window was open for a half a fucking second. That run is over. Over. Your defense stinks. Your play calling is bad. Straight up bad. When they need a fucking big play, they do the same thing. It's those 2 receivers on long fucking passes down the sideline. That's their fucking play call, dude. I've seen it for 2 years. And on shitty teams, when you have great receivers and you throw a 50-50 ball, it works. But even shitty teams can pick up on something you do every time you're in fucking 3rd and long. There's no creativity in their offense. Your quarterback's banged up. You banged him up. And your defense stinks. Howie Roseman, wizard in the draft. Good luck. Cool.
The thing about a game like yesterday and during their skit, they're not just losing, man. Like, for someone like me who doesn't have a vested interest, obviously, I had that game on for a bit, and I just get like, this game's a blowout. Like, they're getting blown out by the Niners. They're getting blown out by the Cowboys. They're getting blown out by the Giants. You know, they're getting their ass kicked in these games. I don't know. They are favorites right now. That's an interesting line.
Well, the Bucs didn't look good in a must-win football game against the fucking Panthers.
Yeah. No, I know. But still.
But both of the I might bet the Bucs. I might bet home dog, money line, home dog against a team that is bad.
Yeah.
I think both of these teams, I mean, this is where we're at with like what we were saying is like anything can happen, but what's not going to happen is like, who knows who wins this game? I don't know. But I know one thing, neither team will win a second game. Like that's where the oh my godness is over. Like I don't care if it's the Cowboys that they get to play. I don't care if it's like you're not winning. Neither of these teams is winning 2 playoff games.
It's crazy when you say that though, because if you look at the odds, and I'm going to pull them up right now. I looked at it last night before bed. This is the odd. This is on FanDuel. I mean, they all have different odds, but right now, the odds on favorites go Niners, Ravens, Bills, Cowboys, Chiefs, Eagles. To me, it's like I'd put some of those other teams ahead of the Eagles.
I think what has I think what has some teams above the Eagles. Yeah, like sure you could. I mean, you could make an argument the Rams or whatever, but like I think why a team like the Eagles is ahead of some is like the AFC's tougher, right? Like I think everybody thinks that the Niners are the clear favorite in the NFC. But after them, what? Whereas in the AFC, you're like, if the Eagles were in the AFC, they wouldn't beat the Ravens. They wouldn't beat the Chiefs. They wouldn't beat the Browns. They wouldn't beat the Dolphins. They wouldn't beat they wouldn't beat any of those teams. And yes, I just included the Dolphins because that's how bad the Eagles are playing.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
what's his name? Probably out for the game, right? Yeah.
Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good, man. It's not good at all. I don't know. What do you think of these coaches fired? Some of these guys who got fired. So far we have Arthur Smith gets fired. Not surprised there. Not surprised by Ron Rivera getting fired.
No.
You have Carolina also firing their GM. Looks like the Commanders, I don't know if you saw, they hired Bob Myers, right, who was the architect of those Golden State Warriors squads. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Sports crossover. He was calling an NBA game recently. Has he been doing that
all?
One?
I don't know.
He was on the broadcast. I was watching. You think Belichick stays with the Patriots?
I don't know. It feels like Harbaugh to the Chargers is gaining steam, right?
Is it? I haven't seen much on it lately.
Yeah. Harbaugh to the Chargers is gaining steam.
Sorry, let me ask you this. Do you think which outcome from tonight's game helps him to go to the Chargers? If they win the title or lose? Or does it matter? I would say if they won the title,
they won the title,
out the door, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because
he's I did it.
Yeah, I did it.
Because I was talking about this the other day, because I was complaining about college football, right? Just in general, I was like, I don't watch it, I don't care about it, I don't blah 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 blah, and he said, my buddy said, he was talking about Alabama. And he was just like, yeah, I mean, fucking Alabama's like Michigan's pretty good this year. They beat Alabama. They beat the best coach in college football history. And I said, yeah, Nick Saban has the best resume in college football history. But Nick Saban is really the best coach in college football history who couldn't make it in the NFL. That's what he is. Is he a better coach than Jim Harbaugh? Jim Harbaugh was successful in the NFL. Is Nick Saban a better college football coach than Pete Carroll? He's a better college football coach than Jimmy Johnson? We'll never know because those guys were able to go to the NFL and be successful and didn't have to crawl back to college.
But you're saying college coach.
Right. I'm just saying.
It's got to be Nick Saban.
I know that, but I'm saying what he is.
Are you saying coach in general?
I'm just saying he's the best college football coach that couldn't make it in the NFL. Yeah, he has the best resume, but like we'll never know if Jimmy Johnson wins 20 championships because he went to the NFL and was successful. Jim Harbaugh went to the NFL, was successful, then came back to college and is successful again and might go back to the NFL again. Or else maybe Jim Harbaugh, like, listen, if Jim Harbaugh wins a championship tonight, who's to say Michigan doesn't do this for the next 12 years like Saban did? But Jim Harbaugh goes to the NFL. He's like, yeah, that's what you do. You continue to move up the ranks, and he had to take a fucking step back, and now he's maybe moves out the bank. Like that's what I see Jim Harbaugh doing. I think win or lose, I could see Jim Harbaugh going back to the NFL.
I still never understood the Harbaugh San Francisco thing because he never had one losing season. Was it just he had issues with the ownership and the GM?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this guy, all he does is win. And he makes smart, calculated moves. I mean, people forget when he decided to bench Alex Smith for Colin Kaepernick. That was a huge decision.
Yeah.
That was a decision that was not only huge, that thing was very divisive by talking heads, right? I think he's a really good coach. I would love to see him on the Chargers.
Yeah, me too.
You know, the players seem to like him, obviously. He's a quarterback coach. You've never heard a bad thing about him from any of his quarterbacks. Just give them something. And imagine if he did go to the Chargers, man. That division gets real interesting.
Yeah.
You know, you got the liar Sean Payton down in Denver. You got whatever they're going to put at quarterback. Raiders going to Raider. If Raiders are smart, they hire Antonio Pierce.
I think so. Yeah.
How can you not? With what he did. And then we all know the situation with the Chiefs. Is a girl going to be at the game? It's supposed to be real, you know, and I know we're getting that too. Like it's supposed to get real cold here in Cincinnati this weekend.
Well, I saw a great theory posted on Twitter when all the matchups came out. This is the NFL knows exactly what they're doing. Every Swiftie now has to fucking download and subscribe to Peacock.
Oh.
The Peacock game is the Swiftie game.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Now, I don't know. Will she be in bed surrounded by wet tissues because Joe Coy made a joke about her? I don't know.
What did he say? Know. What did Joe Coy say?
First of all, Joe Coy's monologue was horrible.
I didn't watch any of it. I saw that. I just saw people dunking on it.
And then he threw his writers under the bus. And
no, I saw that 30 seconds is what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then also he just like, dude, like, I mean, my thing is, this isn't even his brand.
Yeah. Why would he do that?
His brand, I don't even know how he became this guy, but his one joke, like actually, I mean, obviously I'm a fan of any joke at Taylor Swift's expense, but it wasn't that mean. And it was actually a halfway decent joke. So the difference between us and the NFL is less cutaways to Taylor Swift, who was there, and they cut away, and then they cut away to her.
Yeah, it's a good little joke, quick little throwaway joke.
I would have gone way harder at her, but you know,
I mean, we get Katt Williams to host these things.
Yeah, exactly.
Finished it. Oh, holy cow, bro. And I don't want to hijack this podcast again with Katt Williams, but I have to ask. Now that I've finished it, I have to ask you. On a scale of 0 to 100%, what percent is truthful from that podcast? I'm definitely it's more on the truthful side, but there's certain things you're like.
You didn't read 3,000 books a year.
Well,
You don't run a 4.40. In fact, he ran like a 4.47. Length of the basketball court yesterday. I don't know if you saw that. It was just 33 yards. So yeah, he's out there. He's out there trying.
Did Harvey Weinstein offer to suck his dick?
I don't know. But I would lean toward like a grade in the. I would it'd be a C+ or better grade. Like he's over 75%. I think he's probably in the B range. It's probably been a B minus range, probably 81%.
So obviously I'm like a lot of people, and then I go down the rabbit hole and I see past videos when he's gone at Kevin Hart, and Kevin Hart saying, oh, he had all this, and then Kevin Hart saying drugs. So who knows who's telling the truth? I did see a video of Tiffany Haddish responding in her stand-up show, and it was like, you're not responding to anything he actually said.
Right.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
She's on stage, and I think she's at an improv somewhere, and she's like, what is he talking about? And she's naming all these acting creds she did long ago. And I'm like, did you listen to anything he said? He's not talking about acting. He's saying you didn't go up through the club performing. That's all he's saying. And again, he's not even knocking. If you become big, like we've discussed, let's say hypothetically, right, for a guy who hasn't been performing like me, let's say I blew up a TikTok and an Instagram in the next year, and I'm massive and I can go on tour. Yeah, dude, I don't have material, and I know that. Like, I don't have material.
And also, you wouldn't be like, I grinded in stand-up comedy for 20 years.
Yeah.
You would be like, I did the stand-up thing for a while. I hosted a show at a hostel. Like, I've been in this shit. I hosted a belly room show when the belly room was nothing.
Yeah.
And then I took 5 years off from stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, I've been on the grind.
Yeah. I mean, it's really good though, man. And here's the thing. He even makes, I saw somebody that posted that on Twitter. Like he makes his point at the end too, aside from all the trash talking about. It's like a good life point as far as you should, when you lie in bed at night, if this is going to be your last night, if you don't wake up tomorrow, did you give it your all? I'm like, this is like an inspirational kind of thing. And I think there's a lot of truth to a lot of the things he said. And it's just, dude, I mean, you go down that rabbit hole. And then, of course, I had to rewatch the radio interview that he did with the Atlanta. What's her name?
Yeah. That was
Wanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, her husband then pulled a gun on him and whatever.
Oh, I watched, dude. You don't understand. Brittany and I were down this rabbit hole.
No. Prison in jail ain't the same.
Yeah.
19 arrests, no convictions.
We were down this rabbit hole. I was taking a nap and I just had my computer open and we're watching that interview. I was like, no, now we got to watch, because they say it's on camera. This guy pulling the gun, her husband pulling the gun. It's just like, I know you talked about that.
Yeah.
The Katt Williams rabbit hole is unbelievable. And you know what else I did this weekend? Or we did? I cooked some fresh, nicely delivered. You know, it comes right to your door. Butcher Box, some steaks, Joe. I had some steaks along with a nice mix of chicken, wings, all these different great food items delivered right to the door. And I cooked some flank steaks for us. And I have to tip myself off a little. Getting a lot.
Tip myself off.
I have to tip my hat to myself, whatever the hell we're trying to say.
Tip my own cap.
Tip my own cap. I'm getting damn good at. I shouldn't say damn good. I'm getting better at the Weber Grill.
Okay.
So Brittany said to me, it was cold. It was like 30 degrees out. She's like, it's dark. You're gonna grill. I said, yeah. I got these Butcher Box steaks. I'm gonna cook these steaks. We're gonna have some mashed potatoes. We're gonna have some broccoli with it, and we're gonna have a nice little meal. We're gonna sit down like a family, and it was great. And guys, we have a great deal right now for Butcher Box. If you're looking to eat some of these delicious meal items, they have such a great variety. New members get 2 pounds of ground beef, 3 pounds of chicken breast, or 2 pounds of salmon for free in every order for a whole year. Yeah, I didn't stutter when I said that. I kind of did, but disregard that. I'm talking for a whole year, plus $20 off your first order. So sign up today at butcherbox.com/dirty and use code DIRTY to choose your free offer and get $20 off.
Yeah, I'll tell you who's the biggest fan of Butcher Box there is my girlfriend.
Yeah,
Like
you're
the
saying
meat,
that.
the meat comes, and you would think it's like full Tim Allen, right? Like, I'm gonna go out and make meat. She's like, no, I'm gonna make risotto with ground beef. She made wings the other night. She made some buffalo chicken sliders, dude. Some coleslaw, buttermilk dipped buffalo chicken sliders. My girl gets a delivery of meat, and she's like, all of a sudden, some sort of culinary whiz. She's like looking up recipes and stuff.
That sounds delicious. I could crush some sliders right now.
I was like, oh, we should make. Last night, I was like, oh, we should make ribs, and she was like getting hungry. I was like, we should make ribs. She's like, we're not doing ribs tonight. She's like, if I'm gonna do ribs, I'm gonna do them right. It's like 3-4 hours in the thing. I was like, oh, damn, girl.
That's
It's
impressive.
out here, Bobby flaying.
Yeah. I'm gonna put Roscoe to work over here. He's gonna start cooking for us. Actually, he'd eat that up right away. He'll mess around.
And then you've had
What's on my mind?
Hospitalization, diarrhea again.
Oh yeah, he's on a strict diet. He can't be doing that. He's on a poor guy's on a diet the rest of his life. I want to give a shout out though before I forget. Shout out to our hockey correspondent Ryan Klatt, sending some love to his family. He had a little baby boy born, so I believe his name is Tate, right?
If you say so.
So shout out to the Klatts. I know little boys in the NICU, and I've been.
And he
there.
knows it well.
Yeah, it's not the easiest thing when you have a new child and they're in the hospital. So hope everything's good. Send Ryan some love, guys, on Twitter. And I know little Tate in no time will be wearing a train conductor outfit.
Yeah. Also, put him in a hockey jersey while he's got no teeth. It's perfect.
Yeah.
While we're doing shout outs, can I do a less emotional shout out?
Yeah.
I want to shout out my boy Chris Wilde. You can see in the background, I've adjusted my background a little bit. Chris Wilde, when I moved, I gave Chris Wilde the Miller Lite fridge, which is once again behind me.
I see it.
Because I didn't have room for it. And I said, hey, I feel really bad, but like, can I get it back? I want to put it in the creation shed where I record the podcast. He's like, absolutely, come get it. And when I got there, he's like, I have something else for you. And he gave me this glorious limited edition Knicks artwork with the 70s championship team on it. It's really, really cool. You can't see it on the camera here, but all the buildings have headlines from newspapers of the championship wins on it. And it's really, he apparently knows somebody, a friend of a friend is like an artist who does all these NBA pieces. And the ones he has are amazing. There's one of Charles Barkley, like he's a Macy's Thanksgiving float. There's one of the old Celtics, Bill Russell's team. It looks like a ring factory. They're cranking out rings. And then this one, he was just like, you had to have the Knicks one. So shout out to Chris for that. And also, I know they lost to the Lakers last night, but I suggested this to Chris while I was down there. I was like, we got to run it by Andy Ruther, who I know you have a long-standing beef with. But I was like, with the NFL season wrapping up in the next month and this Clippers run that they're on, we might have to have a Chris Wilde NBA appearance.
Chris and I have beef.
I mean, I wouldn't say beef. Just Chris is your biggest foil, I would say.
He was. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he would be like, I'm sure he would not miss a beat if he came on.
Oh, I'm sure you guys will tag team against me. I know how it'll go. I'm not stupid. You bring him on, man. But if I'm seeing correctly in the background, does it already? Did they make it ahead of time? Does it say never forget in the Twin Towers?
Oh man,
like they knew. Conspiracy. Did you see the Draymond Green news? Speaking of the NBA,
I did not. I saw literally as I was coming into the thing. I think it was one of the apps gave me a news brief. Said something about Draymond. I didn't have time. What happened?
So he claims that David Stern. Well, I'm going way back. Adam Silver current commissioner, right, talked him out of retirement. This is what he said on his podcast.
Wow. Okay.
He said he was going to retire. I told him, Adam, this is too much for me. This is too much. It's all becoming too much for me. I'm going to retire. And he said, you're making a rash decision. I'm not going to let you do that. And he talks about how he talked him out of it. My question is, what's
hello,
too much?
Hello, Commish. It's Draymond Green. Hi, Draymond. What's on your mind? Well, I've been thinking about it, and it's very, very difficult for me. The idea of continuing to play in the NBA and not being allowed to assault people is weighing very heavily on me. I just don't see a future where I take the floor with my teammates and don't get to choke people or punch them or kick them directly in their genitals. It's just weighing heavily on me. Like, I wake up in cold sweats thinking about playing a game and not trying to hurt other professional athletes. And I think I should retire. I think you should not be a fucking assailant every time you take the court and just keep making millions of dollars. I mean, I see what you're saying, but do you see what I'm saying?
Have you ever, you know what this reminded me of? I know you didn't watch that much Key and Peele. Did you ever see the one with the baseball player who can't stop slapping their asses?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's Draymond. Like he can't not kick or grab or punch somebody's dick.
Yeah.
Like, that's Draymond Green.
You know, the other night I've been randomly watching a lot of stand-up. My girl's been like making me watch stand-up, which is, is very unlike me. And we watched the new Louis C.K. special. And it's like, it's the equivalent of Louis C.K. being like, instead of coming back and doing like his whole apology tour, if he was just like, I cannot jack off in front of girls that didn't ask for it. Well, I guess I'm fucking done with this whole business then. And they're like, dude, just stop jacking off for people. It's like, I don't see a world where I'm able to do that. Thank you.
Where's that special on?
His website.
How many has he released since all this happened? Like two or three?
Two. I think two. I don't know for sure. And I didn't see the first one after, but I did see it. You know, you remember back in the day, he like,
you worked with him.
He dropped in on a weekend that Eddie and I were working in Pittsburgh, and I saw him do that hour.
Yeah.
So I saw him do that. I saw him do that special, but not. And then I think this is the first one after that, but I don't know. I don't watch a lot of stand-up comedy till a week ago.
He's just really flown under the radar.
Yeah.
Although I'm sure he's just touring, right?
Yeah.
Well, regardless, that sketch, that's Draymond, man. It's like he can't. Yeah, just don't kick guys in the dick. Don't punch guys in the nuts.
It's literally
it's really not that difficult.
It's literally like opening day, Major League Baseball a couple years ago. The Rob Manfred being like, "Are the Astros banging on a trash can right now?"
Yeah.
Like, well, what are we supposed to do? I guess we can disband the franchise. They're like, just stop.
Dude, by the way, that is such a great sketch. And then they do a follow-up where the guy's like in recovery.
I don't know if I saw in recovery.
He went to like an AA for ass slapping or some shit, and he's back. He's back on the team. Dude, there's no good sketch comedy anymore. I feel like it's a thing of the past. Or is that just would that be on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram?
What's it? I think you should leave. Is that the Tim Robinson one?
Oh yeah. I do like Tim Robinson. He's weird.
I haven't watched a ton of it, but the ones I've seen were enjoyable.
Yeah.
I know people love that.
Oh, dude. especially if you're stoned. Like me and Guy on Couch, when I was visiting Milwaukee, we didn't make it out one night. We ate edibles and we could not stop laughing. And we ordered a pizza. We're just like, fuck going out, man. We're just gonna watch this show and just be stoned and just laugh our asses off. You watch, like, you go back and watch some of the old Chappelle's, and it's just like, it's fucking 20 years ago, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny you guys are watching specials because we have been too. And she wanted to watch his first special. Like his first ever, his HBO one, which the graphics are great. Like I hadn't watched it in a while. That's what got me into Chappelle, because that came out when I was a senior in high school. So like, it's crazy to think Chappelle's first special was 24 years ago, and that's what got me into him. So it's like, I feel like I have, good history of him. Like I've loved him for 24 years, but that is funny. Like the intro song for that is DMX. It's just like so generic, but like she made me turn it off. She's like, well, what's wrong with it? She's like, he's saying the N-word a lot and it's very racial. And I'm like, are you are you uncomfortable? Okay? Yeah. Like, are you uncomfortable with it? He's a black dude. Like, she's like, I just don't know. I'm just like, okay, maybe it's a generational thing. Here I'm just laughing, about the baby.
Yeah.
And about everything. Like that's a good one to go back. I still think his second one might be better.
Yeah. What the fuck is juice, man? That's my favorite Chappelle bit ever, a stand-up bit.
Oh, the Sunny D
stuff. Yeah.
The Sunny D bit.
Yeah.
I do love his 9/11.
The fuck is juice, man?
His 9/11 thing too. Like, someone get Ja. What is Ja?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's fucking.
See that little black?
Good.
Like, what's that? Give me that purple stuff,
dude. You know exactly. Exactly those Sunny D commercials.
Yeah.
I'm laughing
because they run up. He's like, "We got some soda, we got some purple stuff, we got some Sunny D." Everybody's like, "Oh, Sunny D!" Black kids in the back. Give me that.
Isn't it crazy thing? Sunny Delight used to have commercials.
Yeah,
Sunny Delight used to have commercials. I thought of you today when I saw this headline. See, Tiger's ending his 27-year relationship with Nike.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
You think it's fallen, or he just? You think that's hold on. Do you think that's a Nike decision?
Well, I think it's it's probably. I mean, I think
probably
what it
mutual.
Is. Yeah, it's probably mutual because Nike doesn't really do golf anymore. But like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. There was a time where he was so big that like he single-handedly made Nike a golf company. You know what I mean? Nike was like, we're going to get into golf. Got it with him with Tiger Woods, made golf balls, made golf clubs, made all the things. And now, now I assume there's so much there. Like, obviously, me being a golfer over the last couple of years, you have all those companies. But now, even in forget the Callaways and the Titleists and all the companies that do golf equipment, you have so many companies that are doing like golf wear, and that Nike's just like, why are we even in this business anymore? And rightfully so.
They're also making cuts. They said they're going to cut $2 billion in spending over the next few years. And
yeah,
I'm sure a fat contract. A tough day for Tug Coker, though. That's why I'm bringing it up, too.
Tough day for Tug. Big Nike guy, right. Big Tiger guy.
The red.
Yeah.
The Tiger red. Right. That was like his famous
Sunday gear. Which I guess whatever company he starts working with will have to think about their version of Tiger Sunday red. Should Tiger ever make it to Sunday again?
Shots fired.
It's okay. Nike still has LeBron James at 39 is posterizing people still. Did you see that fucking dunk, dude?
It's insane. He's 39.
It's insane. It's insane.
He's 39.
Dude, I don't think Carl Lewis was doing that at 39. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, he wasn't competing on the fucking Olympics, but like, I don't know if guys whose job it was to jump are fucking running dunking on people in transition at 39.
You know what's sad though?
Insane.
It's just sad because so many people they're never going to change their opinion.
Who cares? I mean, I say that as a guy who.
No, I agree, but I think it's sad. I think it's sad that a guy's damn near 40. I mean, it's just to have that longevity and to stay at that level. It's just, I just don't know what people want, which actually would be a great lead-in for this call we have.
Great.
Now it's not basketball related; it's football related. But I think, and then he DM'd me, and I think it's, and then he's like, "Can you bring this up as well?" Which I think is a great point too, which I'll bring up with Jerry Rice. It's just because we're talking about the modern day athlete with LeBron, and I think this holds up when we talk about the wide receiver position.
Okay,
boys. It's your number one Rock Purdy lover checking in. So, no Purdy this week. I was pretty bummed about that. I usually look forward to that big fat cock jogging out onto the field. This week, he didn't even dress in uniform. Had some loose-ass pants on. Couldn't even see his chub.
Unbelievable.
Now I have to wait 2 full weeks for my fix. I DM'd Ruther about my theory on why all the black players on his team respect him so much already in year 2. It's like a different respect, though, not just for the gameplay. I'm convinced they caught a peek in the showers, if you know what I mean. Little white
Unbelievable.
Dude, like Trent Williams. Gotta love it, baby.
I love that.
Anyways, boys, just wanted to call with another topic. I watched a lot of football over the weekend, and it feels like the finesse catches from receivers has been so much better than when I grew up watching the NFL in the 90s. I'm an older cat like you guys. But, man, I must have seen 20-plus beautiful foot drag sideline catches or end zone catches just over the weekend alone. Is it me, or were those catches way more rare and hyped up in the 90s? The Summeralls and the Maddens just making a big deal. It just kind of seems like they're routine catches nowadays. The announcers don't even hype them up. So, anyway, just wanted to hear you guys discuss that a little bit. Let me know what you think, boys, about the evolution of receivers in the NFL. Stay dirty, fellas.
I think this is a great call from Nick because I've thought this too.
No doubt about it. I mean,
it sounds like, dude, when they used to drag their toes in the 90s when we grew up, announcers would lose their shit. Like, I'm talking the fifth guy off the bench.
Yeah.
Does this like with these.
Yeah. It's an evolution of the game in terms of now everything, like at this point, you're a receiver who you're specialized from God knows what age if you're the kind of guy who goes to the NFL. Now, a lot of these like receivers probably play high school quarterback or whatever, but like you go to college, this is things that they're working on. This like they're doing this drill in NFL preseason. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they just weren't in the past. And there's 20 different examples of this in football alone, things that you can't believe that they do now that they never used to do. But this is like, it takes such a skill, such body control, like the thoughtfulness to do it sometimes. Like,
dude, that's my thing. Like, just to think, even like last night, that ball gets tipped for the Bills' first touchdown. And I forget which receiver was it, like fucking wide receiver number 4 or 5. To just know to do that.
Yeah.
It's instinctive for these guys. It's like riding a bike, man.
Yeah.
These guys are so good. And then Nick DM'd me as well. And he wanted to bring up Jerry Rice. And he's like, I think he's probably going towards the argument that we do with basketball. And he's like, look, Rice was my favorite. He's obviously a Niners guy. He's like, Rice was my favorite player ever. But then I look at him and I'm like, then you watch the modern day receiver.
Right.
It's not to
Well,
knock Rice.
Here's that argument. And first of all, Jerry Rice wasn't even that kind of guy. You know what I mean? That was not Jerry Rice. Like, he wasn't even like that. He was way more like, he was the ultimate receiver because he was a possession receiver and he was the deep guy and he's whatever. He's so much like, I saw somebody talking about Jerry Rice the other day, and they said the phrase yak doesn't even exist without Jerry Rice.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Jerry Rice makes yak a measurable tool. They're like, how do we explain that Jerry Rice catches a bunch of 5-yard passes and had 140-yard receiving today? It's like, we need to explain to people that he's getting all these yards after the catch. But the when you talk about the skills that guys have, like, no one's ever I think it's so dumb to argue that, your typical NBA player in the 80s or your typical NFL player in the 80s or 90s or whatever compares to the guys today. Yeah, the fifth receiver, the guy who made that catch for Buffalo last night, is probably, a top 5 receiver in the league if you just took him today and put him in a time machine and dropped him back in the 90s. That being said, the argument, and it's the argument for Michael Jordan, right? Which is Jerry Rice dominated his sport in a way, even though it was before, that no one has ever dominated it before. Now, the argument against, obviously, Michael Jordan is LeBron's dominated the sport in the same way when it was better. That's the argument. It's like, when people do the rings thing, it's like, Bill Russell has 11. Well, the league sucked. That's literally my point. But when you look at Jerry Rice's, like, the truth is, Randy Moss would have fucking absolutely dominated if you just dropped him in a time machine in Jerry Rice's era. But he did not dominate at the level that Jerry Rice did with a league MVP and Super Bowl MVPs and championships and all the statistics. Are there hockey players who are more skilled than Wayne Gretzky? I don't know. We should ask Ryan Klatt when he comes on. Maybe there are guys picking the puck up off the ice and putting it in a goal like it's a fucking lacrosse game. So it seems like there's some guys who are skilled, but Wayne Gretzky has more points than anybody in NHL history if you get rid of all his goals. So, like, it's a matter of, this, no doubt about it, these players are more skilled. The reason LeBron James is the GOAT of GOATs at this point is because he is dominating at a Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Wayne Gretzky type of level when the game is at its most skilled.
Yeah.
We've talked about this with these guys before, like the era of, you said, like, oh, everybody's going to be a top 10 passing quarterback. Are they? Like, they can't survive, right?
Yeah.
So LeBron James, every guy's going to be able to score 50 points. LeBron James, no one's going to pass 40. No one's just going to come along and play till they're from their day they're 18 to the day that they're 40 and barely miss games and dominate. Like, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I agree.
So that's
no
doubt about it. Like, you could say, but also Jerry Rice set the tone for all these guys having footwork. That's what made Jerry Rice better than the guys he played with. He thought about footwork. He thought about the angle he was taking after the catch. He thought about all these things. The modern NFL receiver exists today because of Jerry Rice, and he dominated on a level statistically that no one's been able to match. Jerry Rice is different than Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Wayne Gretzky in that you could see a guy coming in and doing it. But the problem is you couldn't see him doing it for as long as he did. Jerry Rice was a 1,000-yard receiver when he was fucking 40 or something like that.
The fucking Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
the
on that
Jerry
team
Rice
that made...
greatness and the Jerry Rice longevity. And the Jerry Rice being on championship teams.
I mean, he lasted so long. He had like dreads at the end.
Yeah. But no doubt about it, there are guys who have taken that and improved on it. Like, yeah, the skill level is unmatched. Unmatched. It's just like we talk about with the NBA. Yeah, Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice play in today's NFL. But none of the other guys do. None of the other guys from the fucking 1995 NFL season are likely on fucking NFL teams today. The overall quality has gone up. And that's why listen, you know me. I'm a Michael Jordan is the second greatest NBA player of all time guy. Michael Jordan, of course, exists in today's NBA. Of fucking course he does. No fucking doubt about it. Yeah. Michael Jordan. But half the guys on the court with him don't. They'd laugh Luke Longley out of a fucking gym. They'd be like, I don't know, pick up boxing or something, dude. Like, be an MMA fighter. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Stop spelling your name L-U-C.
Yeah. L-U-C later.
Yeah. It sounds like luck. Like, you're going to need some luck when you go to the job fair. Get out of here. Yeah, but it is. It really is. Like, I do think about that. I'm glad he left that call when I watched the toe drags. I've thought about that the last few years. I'm like, just thinking, God, these guys.
But also those we see all these catches too, just the catches. And it's like, people used to fucking love to dunk on Odell because he'd go out there pregame and he'd do all the shit. It's like, dude, he's practicing. It does. Like, there are situations where you're making these fucking plays. He just made one the other week where he turned the wrong way, fucking going out of bounds, falling backwards, got both feet in, grabbed the ball over his head. Like, these guys practice this shit. I remember it, dude. I was just like, I've never seen anything like this. I went to training camp, Mikey and Danny, and Odell was like, I think he was injured at the time, but he was working on the sidelines by himself. He was under the jugs machine. He's laying down on his back with his head pointed at the jugs machine, and they're firing balls. It's like, why are you trying to catch a ball like that? Like, what is it? And he's just like, it's all about like, yeah, maybe I have to catch a ball, fucking looking over my head. Maybe I have to catch a ball. It's like, fuck, dude, you're practicing this shit?
Yeah, it's insane.
But also think about it when we were kids, Andy. I'm sure you went out and played football. You'd do the toe drag.
Oh, like in the backyard and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so commonplace now, is my point.
Yeah, because all of these kids grew up.
Although you're right. The only person I remember, the truth is, the only person I remember doing toe drag was Jerry Rice.
Yeah,
like
with consistency.
He started it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That was him. It was all him. Well, guys, give us a call, 310-359-8365. Joe and I finished tied in the picks.
Unbelievable, right?
So you were up 3, then I won 3, and then you won 3.
Yeah, well, two. What happened was, like, if you go back 3 weeks, I was up 3 on you. You won 3 to even it. You won 3 again to go up 3. And then I won 3 this week. In fact, all the early games, once the early games were done, we were even, and we had 4 going into the late games, and we split the late games 2-2. So it looks like we're going. Well, we never made a bet this year, Andy. So this is giving us an extension. Let's get through. Let's take this to the Super Bowl.
Through the Super Bowl, okay.
Yeah, let's take it through the Super Bowl, and let's fucking let's have some shit on it.
You want to do all the playoffs?
Yeah, fuck yeah. What are we doing? We go into overtime, playoff, just a super wild card weekend. Fuck that. Let's do it throughout now. And we come up with something. Now we've bought ourselves a month to figure out what we're playing for.
Loser must find where Jameis 101 is.
Yeah. By the way, all of my ups and downs all this NFL season, I ended up winning Randy Siegel's confidence pool. Took the year pot. Huge comeback week this week for me. The only 2 games I got wrong in the confidence pool. Unbelievable, or else I would have won the week. I picked against my own Giants. Shameful. And I stupidly picked the Jaguars to win the game with maybe the worst coach that's ever won a Super Bowl, as I tweeted yesterday.
I'm not going to agree with that, by the way.
I said discuss.
You know why I don't think Peterson's the worst coach?
Why?
They won it with the backup, man.
But again, my point about that Eagles season is it was just a magical season. Even his bad coaching moves went in his the right way. It was just a Cinderella season.
We didn't even talk about that. By the way, what a meltdown. They were 8-3, tied with the best record in the AFC. And they finished 9-8. I mean, the truth is they were getting their ass kicked yesterday.
Yeah.
That wasn't like they lost a close game.
I mean, when you say the worst coach to win, when I put that out there, dude, he was fired 2 years after winning the Super Bowl. And now he's done this where went from having a playoff win to like this is just happens to him. He just unravels. And I saw somebody say, I replied to it and they were like, I don't even think this has anything to do with Doug Peterson. I think we just need to admit Trevor Lawrence is nothing better than an average QB. And I was like, I disagree. Trevor Lawrence certainly has not lived up to generational hype. But I think Trevor Lawrence is a little bit being wasted by Doug Peterson. I think Doug Peterson is a bad football coach at this point. Dude, what are we fucking talking about here? They were 9-3 the time they like an absolute full-on total debacle meltdown. You still have a chance to win it at the end. You go into the last game of the season, winning in.
I know. Against the 5-win team. But there's a reason both you and I picked the Titans, and so there's a good chance the Titans win.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to look at stats of guys who wear visors. That's my thing. I was thinking.
Coaches that wear visors.
I want to see coaches' career.
Nagy was a big visor guy.
Who?
Nagy on the Bears was a big visor. He was a big visor guy.
I want to see guys who wore visors.
Peyton is a big visor guy, right?
Gruden. I want to see guys since like the 90s, guys who've worn visors. What's the overall record of guys?
But there's also visors? Like big visor guys. There's guys who are like exclusive visor wearers randomly. Like, why is like Lane Kiffin and Sean Payton, why are they like exclusive visor guys?
I don't know why you don't just go full hat.
I mean, I'm not against a visor. I'll wear a visor. I've wore a visor golfing. I wear a visor back in the day, like when visors were big. Like I'd wear a visor out to the beach or whatever. But like not exclusively. You know who's exclusive visor guy? Dennis Gubbins. I'm not letting Dennis Gubbins coach my football team. That's for sure.
No, definitely not letting him coach my football team.
Who else are exclusive visor guys? Peyton, Nagy, Peterson, Gruden, Kiffin.
Sorry, I'm cleaning my oven. I think it went off. You ever done that?
Yeah. You're not cleaning it yourself. It's self-cleaning, correct?
What does it actually do? We haven't done this, and our oven's been a mess for almost 2 months now because my girlfriend's mom put plastic in there and thought she could cook. It's a whole thing.
It turns so goddamn hot that it just like melted off.
I hope that happens. I probably shouldn't have done this while I went to do a podcast.
Seems crazy. Seems like a way to die in a fire. What are you doing? I'm just going to try to heat up this old plastic as hot as I can get it.
Well, I cleaned out.
Roscoe's in the other room just howling.
Roscoe's in his bed sleeping next to me. Well, I needed like 3 hours, and I was like, obviously, I want to do this while little girl's at daycare.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. If there's any stats out there, maybe I'll Google it on the visor. But let us know. 310-359-8365. DM us. I did get a DM from our Miami Dolphins fan today. I just saw.
Well, we've been on the show.
I think he's serious. He wrote, "You guys were right."
Well, this is good.
Can't win a big game. Offense crumbles. Tua big game sucks. McDaniel big games suck. Defense showed up even while injured, unlike the offense. Agreed.
I mean, that's that. You know what? Props to Damon then for fucking. Props to Damon for.
And look, that could change, man. Look, here's the thing.
Sure.
I'm rooting for the Finns this week.
It's a win-win for me. I'll be rooting for the Chiefs, but if the Chiefs get undone by the Taylor Swift curse, I will make 11 videos about it and be called a misogynist by every fucking femcel on the internet.
All right. You got anything else going on?
A bunch of shows coming up. JoePrano.com or just on my Instagram. You know me. I'll put all my flyers and posters and all the stuff there. I will be up in San Luis Obispo again next weekend, doing the Sneaky Pete's show and doing some Don't Tell comedy shows. So if you're in that area, I got to say, if you're in that area, the Sneaky Pete's show, slide in my DMs if you're in the Central Coast of California. The Sneaky Pete's show is truly my favorite comedy show of all time. And I can't tell you all the details about it right now because it's sneaky. So yeah, just follow me on all social media at Joe Prano. Follow me on my website, joeprano.com, and come check out a show. Got some fun stuff in the works for 2024. So keep your ears and eyes peeled.
All right, guys. That's our show. We'll be back on Monday. No, we'll be back on Thursday. Losing my damn mind.
Taking another week off?
No, we'll be back on Thursday. All right, we'll see you guys then. Have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.